why don't we, we could, why don't we put it split screen, Jordan? That way we can see it properly. Oh, wow, it's like doing the face. Right. Right, anyway, hello. Ooh. 3, 2, 1.
Prepare for insight.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Ugins Insight, the podcast and vidcast, brought to you by Jordan here from WotC Magic. And this one I've recorded a bit later because I heard there was a big announcement coming from Wizards with regards to what is it they call it? Getting back into gathering, i.e. playing in stores. And I want to give my thoughts on that because, of course, I'm in a bit of a unique position being in New Zealand because we've had open game stores for months now. So I want to talk about that and talk about my experiences. Also, they've announced some Mtg Arena announcements as well, which brings us on to free codes. Because I've talked to a lot of people recently who aren't aware that there are free codes, and so I want to just sort of discuss that in general. So without further ado, we're going to get to the first topic, which is the esports transition and getting back into gathering announcement. Obviously, Wizards put up a big article. I'll link that in the description box. Basically, it talks about obviously trying to get back to playing in person and stuff like that. Obviously, they were saying that digital play has obviously helped them quite a lot, and they do want to continue that. And to be fair, why wouldn't they? But of course, they realised that the sort of the grassroots of Magic is in actually playing in person, and I agree with that. I think it's really good. They also talk a lot of things about the changes to the championships and things like that. Now, I am not a big championship player or follower. If I participate, I've gone to GPs to try and get in, but I am never going to be that level. I'm never. I cause too many issues when I'm playing, and I forget so many things. So I'm not. There are probably better podcasts to go to speak of that. So I probably recommend checking out things like RBD or Magic Beans Cast because they'll probably be able to explain things a lot better on that. So so I'm going to avoid that sort of thing. So what I really want to talk about is when you're going to play in a store. Now, the one thing that they do talk about, and they talk about this in a separate article as well, which is about the companion app. Now, I like the companion app. It's really good. It's really sweet, and it's great for stores to arrange games. And our store actually used it for when we were playing in lockdown as well. So they allowed us to give us a code. We all on, and we all knew who we were versing because it's linked to your arena. Because it was a link to your arena one, you've got all that, so you can trade names and do all that jazz, which is really sweet. Obviously, in person, you can set assign tables, and therefore you know which table you're going to, so you don't have to do the awkward thing of, I am Jordan. Who is Ben? Who is Ben? Because it's not all Magic players are very confident when it comes to immediately throwing into a social interaction. Obviously, it would be really sweet if they could somehow develop the companion app to be used at major tournaments. So if you wanted to attend the next Magic Fest, for example, you'd sign in via obviously the Channel Fireball thing or whatever, and if it uses the companion app as a loadout or something like that, and then you can essentially, it tells you your table and everything like that, and it notifies you as you're playing. The only one downside about it, of course, is that it uses data, obviously, unless you've got Wi-Fi. But for all the Magic Fest I've been to, generally the Wi-Fi at the the event site is garbage, and I've always just used data. And of course, if nowadays I'm traveling into Australia, I have to buy a roaming package. So of course I'm having to be frugal with my data because I can only buy a block amount, and I kind of need it to last for the weekend. So it's kind of, I like the companion app, but for local game stores, it's brilliant. I would love to see it used at a major tournament, but I don't think it's ever going to be there. And hopefully, maybe one day it is. They've done a lot of work, especially with spell table and stuff like that. So hopefully they can do something going forward with it. It would be really sweet. But I think they just need to think about like the impact it has on players who are traveling in for a Magic Fest, because even the ones that I used to attend in London and or up and down the country of the UK, actually, I would use my data, of course, because again, but there were people who were flying in from Belgium, France, Germany, Spain. You'd have all these other cultures coming in, and of course, they've got to buy a roaming plan so they can communicate and stuff like that back home and stuff like that. So the fact that you're going to make them use up all their data just for an app would be really cruel. So hopefully they can do something with it. But in terms of the actual app itself, I think it's rather sweet. It can be a life counter. It can be just you can arrange all your table and submit all your results, and it goes straight through to the organizer. And it gives you your standing. It does everything that can take time at an event. So it is quite good. So hopefully they maybe can develop it a bit better. But of course they talk about obviously one of the major benefits of us using the app is that essentially it's like another form of COVID tracking. Because the fact is that if I'm going to go play at a tournament down in my local game store and they use the app, it's like, oh, sweet, well, I've got to sign in via the app. Sweet, I'm now in the tournament. It tells me what time I've signed in. It tells me, who I'm versing and all this jazz. So, God forbid, if we ever need the data, I could, if I suffered and came down, I say, oh, yeah, I attended a Magic tournament. So, anyone who was participating in this tournament at my local game store on Saturday, blah 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 blah. At this time, between this time and this time, they likely need a test and blah blah blah. So they can use it for. I assume they should be able to get that data out somehow and use it for tracking, which would be good. But it's just one thing I do like is one of my favorite things about the app is that it allowed us to play in FNM when we were all in lockdown, because when we were in lockdown, we were trialing it out a lot more with my local game store, and it was just sweet. It was just great. The fact is, we didn't have to report all our results to Tom or do anything like that. We did it as a backup. So he said, well, we're going to use the app, but if anything needs changing or I want you to report it as well, and then I can confirm it. And then after like the first couple of weeks, he was happy with us just reporting it via the app, and if there's any conflict, he would contact the players directly and would sort it out. But yeah, it was always sweet. So in terms of getting back to gatherings, as they want to call it in the article, it's cool. I've got no problems with it. And it is what it is in my opinion, and I enjoy playing in paper. Paper is my passion. It's nice, don't get me wrong, I enjoy playing on Arena. Arena is really good fun. It looks really nice and digital. It looks great on stream, but I like flicking cards. I like shuffling. I like, the fact is that I'll be honest. I'm probably more vocal about the Arena Shuffler, and I can't help it because it's the Arena Shuffler, and it hits me, and it knows when I'm streaming, and so I'm pretty sure the developers have put something in Magic Arena to let them know when you are streaming, and therefore you get screwed or flooded, and that's the way it works. But that's my conspiracy theory. And I'm not going to push it out there. But anyway, I like playing paper because if I know that I haven't shuffled enough, it's my fault. I can't blame a bad shuffle if I haven't shuffled it correctly. So so I'm gonna be. I enjoy playing paper for that reason mainly, so that it takes accountability of me being paranoid about the shuffler and various things like that. I've got to say, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on it? I mean, are you excited to go back to local game store play? Are you still concerned? And what concerns do you have? I'd be interested to hear that. In fact, but it's I'm looking forward to being able to get back to a Magic Fest or an actual full on tournament, because I've played down at some things at my local game store, but it's kind of like you kind of know the meta after a while, and it's like you kind of want just a bit more extra. And you want to be able to sort of play randomly and know, because let's be honest, I'm the sliver player in Pauper. I tend to turn up with a sliver deck, and I'm that guy. I'm the guy who, there's a sliver deck. Oh, of course there is. I'm that guy in Pauper. It's like in Modern as well. I run Norrin Soul Sisters. There's, it's a janky life gain strat, and people are like, okay, I have nothing that deals with this. It's like, yeah, I know, it's great. that's what we want to get to, and I think I'm excited for us to try it out. It's going to be cool. And I can't wait to get back into a full-on tournament setting. Hopefully I would like to hopefully Magic start off a bit small, so maybe try and do things regionally, like maybe do things like something for New Zealand, something for Australia, so maybe a generic tournament that can be maybe run by the local game stores, get the bums on the seats, as it were, and then there's like like the way the old championships used to be done. It'll be interesting to see. Because obviously, none of us can try. I mean, we've just started having open borders with some countries, but I'm personally not super thrilled about jumping across the pond to another country just yet. Mainly for my family's health as well as my own health, and I don't want to be paying quarantine fees. Let's be honest. So, yeah, no, thank you. So, I think Magic need to Wizards of the Coast specifically need to go right. Maybe we focus on country games, and then we come up with something to maybe get the top players from tournaments in the countries to verse each other via spell table or some version like that. Because spell table's perfectly fine in my opinion. I mean, I've been playing in a pauper tournament that's a monthly one, and we have some very strict rules on how you interact on the camera. I.e., you've got to shuffle on camera. You got to keep your hands. You got to keep your hands visible as much as possible, and various things like that. Obviously, you don't want to be showing cards, but there's things like that. So I'm sure Wizards can get their heads together and come up with some set of rules of being able to, the New Zealand champion versus the America champion, and how they can do it in a strict setting. I mean, even having a judge be at the location. I mean, there's judges around the world. I'm sure the judges could do something, but it'll be interesting. So, yeah, anyway, let's leave that there because it's going to probably go off on a weird tangent. Well, let's get round to some Mtg Arena announcements. There was a big major update on a Saturday of all days for Mtg Arena, and so the servers are down, and because of that, they said, "Oh well, because we've had to delay people's play and stuff like that, we're going to give you a free code, and that's going to give you 2,000 XP to put you back on track." It's like, yes. And funnily enough, I got thinking about it, and I was talking to some other peeps about it and saying, "Oh yeah, sweet, we're getting a free code." I went, "Sweet, how do I use a free code?" And I was like, "How do you not know how to use the free codes?" And then, funnily enough, I was been talking to other players, and they're like, not realizing that there is all this free stuff available to them, especially in terms of packs. So one first thing I'm going to recommend that everybody does, and I mean everybody does, is please go to Google and type in free Magic Arena codes. I guarantee there is some there. I did it the other day just to see if I missed any, and funnily enough, I'd missed half a dozen. I missed a load for the college sleeves for the different colleges in Strixhaven. I was like, oh, sweet, cool. Get them in there. And obviously there was Experimental Overload that came up as well. And I realised that there was half a dozen pack codes that I hadn't used yet. And I was like, belter. So, it adds to the collection. And funnily enough, I remember when a good friend of the channel, Des Mags, when obviously with lockdown, and he was getting into play on Arena. And I said, oh, he was talking about how much of a grind it is and do all this. And I was like, oh, sure, you've been getting your free packs. He went, what free packs? And literally, I sent him a list of about, I think it was at the time, it must have been at least 30 or 40 codes for free stuff. And he went, oh my God. And he opened it, and he added it all and opened it all. And he's like, oh my God, why does nobody know about this? Because obviously, in your pre-release kits, your Planeswalker decks, the set Planeswalker deck, sorry, you get codes to get stuff as well, and people think it's just that from pre-releases and stuff like that, and it's like, well, no, there's all this other stuff. There's all these cosmetics for free and all this jazz, so it's really good. So one thing, if you haven't really used any of the codes, please go and look at them and use them. The amount of value, even if you think you've got them all, go through and put them in, because as I said, I thought I had them all, and I was missing half a dozen. And I was like, oh, cool, right, well, great, that's at least I'm on top of it, and I'm now keeping as closer eye to MTG Arena Twitter account as possible. But of course, there are other ones to enter as well, which is good. But yeah, so obviously, along with that, they mentioned that they've got these events coming up. Test of Knowledge is literally just about to come out, and obviously, it says it's singleton with the Archmage Emeritus emblem. What that emblem is, I don't know. Now, Archmage Emeritus is a card that's currently in Strixhaven, which whenever it has Magecraft, and whenever you cast a spell, you're going to draw a card. So I'm assuming, logically, no doubt, hopefully by the time this episode goes out, that the event is live. Because of course the dates that they give on this hasn't been the date. Sorry, for the dates that the thing was going live, because it wasn't out last week. So I'm assuming that they got the months wrong. Sorry, the dates wrong on that. So that'll be interesting to see. But basically, yeah, I mean, if it is Magecraft, I mean, admittedly, I kind of want to go blue. Logically, it's either going to be blue or red, I reckon. But black can swing me as well. I think you want to really to get your wins quick is probably play a single color and just go for it, because it'd be tempting. Oh, don't get me wrong, we're playing in the college games. It's tempting to run a college house, but I think logically, just for speed and efficiency of singleton, especially if it is a Magecraft draw a card, then why wouldn't you just stick to single color and make life simple? Stick your removal and stick some decent creatures in there. There are single colored Magecraft creatures, so why not use them? I've just thought of the black one. What about she's like 3 mana Magecraft, and you get a pest. That would be a good one, because that's suddenly gonna, sweet, I get to Magecraft, get a body off her, and get a draw card from the emblem, which would be sweet. So yeah, definitely that'd be good. That would be really cool. The fact is, what you're unlocking as well is you're looking the Japanese alternative art for the first one. You cultivate, throw the possibilities, opt, and revitalize, which is quite nice. The next one after that is going to be Test of Wit, which is 100 card standard with treasure token factory emblem. No idea. 100 card standard. Let's be honest, that's pretty simple. That's basically taking probably one of our favorite decks and just ramping it up with extra copies of everything you want, and sticking a bit of extra land in, of course. So that would be interesting. Treasure token factory emblem. I have no idea. I assume you get I'm assuming that you get a treasure token at the beginning of each upkeep. So you could probably ramp up quicker. So suddenly Prismari would look very good on that front, let's be honest, because being able to cast their big high cost spells on turn 4 or turn 5 will be sweet as. So that'll be quite good. And then the last one that they're doing is called Test of Leadership, and it's Strixhaven Brawl, but only Strixhaven legendary creatures and planeswalkers are legal and can be your commander. I've got a feeling I'll probably brew specifically around using Strixhaven only cards. It would be tempting. But I don't think it'd be possible to do a full Brawl deck using only Strixhaven block. I don't think it would be as efficient. Let's be honest. But you've got some sweet thing. I mean, some of the immediately the legendary creatures I think of. You got the obviously the dragons are just good. Liliana's pretty sweet as well. But yeah, I mean, things like Killian. Having kill spells cost 2 less is going to be sweet. That'd be really good. So yeah, definitely would be interested to see what we can come up with that. I do like the fact that you can get the alternative art, claim the firstborn on that. I'm looking forward to that. I love that artwork on that. It's always sweet. You can find, and obviously they talk about earning points in the College Cup as well, which is weird. Right. So sorry, I've just scrolled down a little bit further. It's amazing when you scroll down the article and actually read it properly before you actually start recording your podcast. It'll sound better and more slick. So what you can do as well is that you can get if Prismari win the College Cup, they're going to decorate the background on Arena with the cup win. So that'll be interesting to see, I suppose. It'll be very good, and you have a chance to get some sleeves. They're also doing a draft challenge and various things like that. And then, of course, they talk about Historic Anthology 5, which does look amazing. Sadly, though, the article for the Wizards Summit article is not available. It's access denied. But we did see, I'm sure, if I remember right, there was some sweet cards did pop up. I'll see if I can quickly find them. We've got some sweet cards coming. Immediately in black, you're getting Shieldred. Because we all like Shieldred. Oh, God, I can't believe it. It's ridiculous. Blue, the one card I'm actually quite excited about is Stifle. Because Stifle is evil. Stifle is a full-on horrible and evil card. This is the reason why I don't like blue, because blue not only this does a very specific thing. Stifle is a 1-mana blue blue instant that counters an activated a target activated or a triggered ability. Which means that, I don't know, I'm gonna crack my Fable Passage. Nope. Counters it. So you've sacked it and you've lost a land. Oh no! Oh right, my triggered ability, my landfall trigger to Omnath has gone off. Nope. But yeah, the the other things like other creatures entering the battlefield is a triggered ability. So Muxus is going to be suffering. What else? Planeswalkers ultimating or stopping them doing a special ability. One of their loyalty abilities. Yeah, horrible. Absolutely horrible. Green is getting Vorinclex, the original Vorinclex, because why just hurt your opponents? Why why would you not want to mana ramp? Also, why do you not want your opponents to do anything on their turn and making them suddenly having to tap out and stuff? It's going to be interesting. Red, personally, I'm loving the fact that we're getting Ancient Grudge. Ancient Grudge is great. It is a modern staple. It is fantastic. What else have we got? We're also getting Urbrax the Hidden. Yeah. White is getting intangible virtue, which token decks will get amazing. It's going to be really cool how we can, if we get a bit more. In fact, if we just can get a lot more token synergy, it'll be really cool. Like things like Spectral Possession, or well, my personal favorite is the Mir Factory, the one where creatures enter the battlefield will create a Mirs, and that'll be cool. What else is there? Oh, we're also in multicolors. We're getting some of the commands from the Dragons of Tarkia. So we get Dromokas, Ujitai, Silumgar, and Ataka's command. Colorless is getting Ica Wellspring. But yeah, that's about it. It's going to be quite cool to see some more anthology, and I do like that we are getting piecemeal. So they're trying not to dump a lot of sets on, which I understand. It's very tempting, a lot of people would demand that sets be dumped on there immediately as remastered so we can start playing modern and stuff like that. But the fact is that we all probably know that Arena is probably ran by about 10 guys. It's not like 100 people operation who can sit there and make sure all the card interactions work and make sure all the art's cool, because the fact now that they've got borderless cards and stuff like that, and so cosmetics, and how you're going to make it sound and sample, it's never going to be that way. And I reckon probably we'll end up having remastered sets as far as we can go back, which will be cool. But I don't think we'll ever get to the point of maybe having a full modern. It would be good if we could get to having full modern on there, but I don't think we ever will, sadly. So yeah, that's pretty much it for an Arena announcement. So it looks like we're going to be busy on the channel, on our YouTube channel, doing some deck techs for the events and stuff like that. It's going to be cool. Make sure you obviously tune into us streaming. Please make sure you are following us on Podbean, and as well as our YouTube channel, see the vidcast and stuff like that. I've been your host, Jordan, here. I'm going to sign off now. Stay safe, relax, and we'll catch you guys later.